TxStampin Sharon. I'm doing another fun fold today. I love fun folds. It's becoming one of my favorite things to do. You could decorate this with any stamp set you want. However, I will be using the cake Soiree today. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, you can do so below. After you subscribe, you can hit the little bell. You'll be notified the next time I upload a video. I'd love to hear your comments on this fold. And if you need anything to make this card, you can look below in the description box to see the measurements, my website, stuff like that. All right, let's make a card. Here is my daughter's birthday card, and I don't know how to show you on the video, but it's like a double easel. It's like an easel card, but it's all one piece. Look at that. All right, I am using the framelits and the cake Soiree stamp set and framelits. So many framelits, and I have seen some gorgeous wedding cards, birthday cards. I mean, it's just phenomenal what people have done with this. So let's make my card. And before I forget, I'm going to be using the ribbon that is found on page 5. Let me make sure you can see that. On page 5 of the Occasions catalog. It's a little combo pack, and it has lovely lipstick because I needed some lovely lipstick. And this is also Flirty Flamingo. So that's the two colors. There's no name on it. I was like, where did I get this ribbon? That's where I got it. I'm going to be using my scoring on my trimmer because I want to show you the scoring on this. All right, so I have two pieces of paper. You can tell that one is smaller and skinnier, shorter and skinnier than the other one. This is going to be my card base, so Whisper White Thick for my card base, and I'm just going to score it at 5.5. just like I would a regular card. Then this piece is actually, so let me go back. This is 4.25 by 11 inches, and I scored it at 5.5. All of the measurements are going to be in the description box below, so don't try to write down everything. I know it's kind of hard. The lovely lipstick is actually 4 inches by 10.25, a little bit different. So this piece we're going to score, we're going to score at 2.5. and at 5. That makes this panel 2.5 and this panel 5.25. Next, we're going to fold it in, give it a good crease, and we're going to fold it back. Like that. I have my designer series paper and all my little bits and pieces that I'm going to be using. This piece is 3.75 by 2.25. You know, I've heard some comments where y'all struggle, so I'm going to stop right here, getting your layers lined up. So what I want you to do, and I can't like put my head directly over the card or it'll get in the camera, but I want you to kind of hover over it, keep your fingers underneath, hover over it, and kind of look at all the sides to see how you're doing when you place your layer. Since my designer series paper has a pattern to it, I do want to make sure that I put it on the correct way so that it all flows the right way. Make sense? So watch your patterns on your designer series paper. So again, I'm holding my fingers underneath. I'm lining up the top part so that I have about 1/8 of an inch at the top and on the sides, and then I know I'm good to go. I failed to tell you what paper I'm using. I'm using All My Love Designer Series paper that's also in the Occasions catalog that goes with that ribbon. And so here's the pattern that I'm using right here. Now we want to add this to our card base. Really get all sides and everything, because this card kind of has to stand up for a while, so add quite a bit of adhesive. All right, here we go again. I'm lining up the top. I have about 1/8 of an inch on the top and the sides. If I didn't, at this point, I could easily pull this off like that and not have an issue. Once you stick the whole thing down, it's a little hard to get off. All right, so we have our base now and we're ready to decorate. What I chose to do was, this is one of the framelits that was in that set that I showed you, and it has a bunch of bits and all that I could poke out, but I found out I don't have to because it's going to be hidden. There you go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday. And the reason that I did this design was there wasn't a framelit to cut out the Happy Birthday. I tried to use my snips. Oh, it was awful. So I'm just going to line this up and stamp right there. I'm stamping with Lovely Lipstick. All right, so we have that piece done. And for my cake, I played with several options. I ended up going with using Versamark on my stamp. We want to use our embossing buddy. I cleaned that stamp. I know I cleaned that stamp, but look what I did. You know what? If you do that, you know, guys, if you've watched me at all, I'm the queen of boo-boos. If I'm going to make a mistake, you might do it at home. It's not going to hurt that bad, okay? I can add some more ink refill to it. It's not pretty anymore, but Versamark doesn't stay pretty. I have figured that out over the course of using Versamark. I almost hid it from you and I decided, nah, I'm going to show them. All right, we're going to pull in some embossing powder. I'm using the white emboss powder. Just kind of dump that on. Give it a little tap on the back. And heat set. Pretty good. You always want to check your powder to make sure it's all nice and melted. I have a Swiffer sheet that I do use in the house to dust, but having one of these in your studio or your craft area is just such a saver. Now I'm going to go cut it out with the framelits. So we have our two pieces, and what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to add some adhesive to the top part. And then I'm just going to line that up, looking at the sides of my little tag. And that's the first part. Now we're going to add the cake stand. Here's my cake stand, and I will tell you, I used the precision cutting plate, and I also used my paper piercer to get all those bits out. And I just find it helpful if I run it through the Big Shot like 3 times, just to try to make it easier to get those bits out, because there's a lot of detail. All right, we're going to put some adhesive on the back. And see how there's my bits and all that? No one's ever going to know when I put this all together. We're going to grab our ribbon. And this ribbon is pretty wide, so you almost have to fold it in half and then fold it again. Just get it going. Also, cutting a point for you like that does help to feed it through that tiny little hole. But once it went through, it was really pretty. I was like, oh yay. I was afraid it would look too thick, but it looked great. I always like to leave my ribbon on the bolt just to help me minimize any waste. We all love our ribbon and our designer series papers, so we always want to try to save as much as possible. Now we're ready to add this to our card, and we want to add it with some dimensionals. I learned that my kids save the cards that I make, so I was very touched. I didn't know that they did that, including my grandkids, because I made it. So, all right, my little dimensional is kind of sticking out just a little bit. If you ever have that happen, just snip it off. I loved how this just fit perfectly on the card. We're gonna fluff up our ribbon a bit. Now we're gonna decorate the inside just a little bit. I went ahead and stamped and cut out a flower, and I'm gonna go ahead and add some, I could have stamped it directly on there, but I wanted to add some of the greenery. And when you do that, you either have to mask it off or, figure out some other way. There are some leaves that come in this set as well. I don't want to add this with dimensionals because it is going to be inside the card. And there you have it. What do you think about my easel card? Make it stand up a little bit better. I know you're looking down on it, but I just loved it, and I felt like it was pretty simple with my decorating. I'll be honest, I kept looking at other ways to add something, and then I went, what about rhinestones? So let's add some rhinestones. We're just going to add 3 rhinestones across the cake top. Everything else I tried to do, it was too big. But little sparkle on a girl's birthday, that's always fun. Now the card is done. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You loved the fold too, didn't you? It's an easel fold. It's different than what I've ever done before. I've seen a few of them and I'm like, that's really a pretty fold. I think I'm gonna give that a try. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and happy stamping, y'all.